Hello, and welcome to the presentation workshop for the NYU Policy Case Competition in 2020. We know that the circumstances aren't great, but we really thank you for having patience and bearing with us. And we really appreciate the amount of effort that you guys put in. We saw how much time and effort it took to make those great policy proposals, and we truly love that. My name is Ajay Iyer. I'm the director of the competition.
I'm Miriam. I'm one of the deputy directors.
And I'm Izzy. I'm the other deputy director. So to start off, this is just what you need to submit for the final round. So you first need an executive summary, which we will talk about more in the next slide, which should be in a PDF form. You need a slide deck of your presentation on PowerPoint, which should also be in a PDF form, and a 15-minute video presentation, which should be a presentation the entire 15 minutes, no other fluff in it, and it should be submitted in a private YouTube URL. So the executive summary, the heading should be the same as the title of the presentation, as well as your team name, as you guys already know, like Domestic 8. It should not be any longer than 1 page, and the content will include the problems that your policy proposal specifically addresses, the policy recommendations, and then a conclusion. And there is an example on our website if you'd like to look at it. So a little review of the rubric, it totals to 15 points, and it's broken down into content, which is 10 points, your policy proposal, which is 25 points, the structure of your presentation, which is 5 points, and presentation aesthetics and delivery, which is 10 points.
So in terms of the content and what we're looking for you to include in your presentation, please make sure that you're mindful of your audience and that you're specific with that, who you're addressing throughout the entire presentation. We're looking for supporting research. You just need to make sure you're demonstrating adequate factual foundation and a knowledge of the literature behind your subject. And speaking of that literature, please make sure that you cite your sources because we will also be looking out for that. We'll be looking for specificity, understanding of the political process, of the political process, actionable proposal, and you may recognize some of these from the memos that you submitted. So the policy proposal should be the bulk of your presentation. So please make sure that you keep that in mind when you're organizing how you want to present. You need to define your problem and define your solution. So looking at feasibility, you would get 0 points if your proposal does not plausibly accomplish its goals or could not plausibly accomplish its goals. And you would get 15 points, which is the maximum for feasibility, if it would almost certainly accomplish its goals. In terms of innovation, you would get 0 points if it demonstrates no innovative ideas, and 10 points, which is the maximum for that category, if it is a fundamentally innovative solution. And then presentation aesthetics, just what we'll be looking for. We'll be looking for some formal language. Please make sure that you proofread, have less words and more images on your slides. You really want to make sure that you know, you're demonstrating that you know your proposal very well. We don't want any videos, and we're looking for a well-organized video. Make sure that it has some sort of flow to it.
In terms of team dynamics, we're looking for 3 main things. First of all, we're looking for participation from every member who can attend. If only one person can participate in recording the video, then we're really looking for like vigorous presentation. In terms of transitions between team members should be smooth and they should be quick. The other thing that we want is for you to exude confidence in your presentation. It's incredibly important. So, projecting your voice, even if you don't have video, pretend that you're speaking to 100 people in a room, or making sure you make eye contact with the camera. So we know it's a little awkward to just like stare at your camera while you're speaking, but don't look at yourself, don't look at the presentation, don't look at your teammates, just look at the camera, because that's the best way to make eye contact. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is some notes on grading the presentations. So in the past, we've noticed that some judges tend to give lower scores than others, and this skews the grading in favor of the people who give higher scores. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to relativize this to make sure that that doesn't happen, so all the judges are taken into account equally. So in this first example, you can see that Team A, just by the eye test, would win pretty handily. But if we go to the next example, we see that Team E actually wins. So Team A in the prefix example was no one other than the first judge's first choice. And Team E was actually two of the other judges' first choice. So we think it's actually much more fair since their average ranking, even though the average score was different. So the average ranking is what actually counts, not your score. So just be aware of that when you're creating your presentation. So next, if you just have any questions, about grading, about content, about formatting, about logistics, the first resource you should always go to is our website, which has a lot of helpful information. That's nyupcc.org/round2information. If there's still some outstanding questions from that, then you can email us at policy.case@gmail.com. We'll try to be as responsive as possible, given the circumstances. The next thing is that these presentations are due at 11:59 p.m. on Friday, April 24th. That is 11:59 p.m., not 12 a.m., 11:59 p.m. We want to be very punctual because we want to make sure that we can get these back to you as quick as possible. You should get these back by around May 2nd or May 3rd, depending on when the judges are done. And we'll try to make sure that you get to know how you've done and you get your feedback back as soon as possible. The final thing is that you should submit at the link here. It's also going to be in the email that we'll send this out with. So make sure you do that by 11:59 p.m. on Friday, April 24th. Thank you for joining us on this presentation. Thank you for your amazing effort in writing your policy memos. And we really, really look forward to seeing your videos. Thank you so much.